I must have accidentally shuffled the wrong way. But you have the King of Wands in here because of the Ace of Swords. Okay, so looking at this straight in, it looks like there's a the reason why there's separation is because everybody's trying to figure out what they want, right? Everybody's trying to have, trying to get to a place where they're proud and happy of where they're going and the direction that they're headed. Okay, the King of Wands only does what he wants to do. He only does what makes him feel good in the moment. Okay, um, some people give him the reputation of being self-centered. Some people give him the reputation of being a narcissist. But the thing is that the King of Wands will never do anything he doesn't enjoy. And I feel like everybody wants to feel alive. It's Aries season. Everybody wants to do something that's fun. They don't want to continue the whole drab and the really thick energy that we all left from Pisces season, right? So I think there's some perspective, new ideas, new ways of thinking, and now it's all about taking action on those things, on those thoughts, on those ideas. You know what I'm saying? So, that being said, let's go ahead and start off with this person on this side here, because the Three of Pentacles to me definitely signifies, yes, planning together, working with one another. This is definitely someone that's trying to consider what their future is with this person. Okay, so far they're showing they're committed, but they're not necessarily sure about how things are going to go. Doesn't mean that they're not, they're not optimistic about the future, but they're looking towards the future in a very planning, kind of getting information, trying to come up with a strategy sort of way, if that makes sense. They're looking to progress. They're looking to grow. It shows that this person is already committed. This shows this person is already in a either in a stable relationship with you or the other or someone else, right? Or they're grounded in themselves. They have strong family values, a strong legacy, meaning that they may come from a wealthy family for some reason. I'm kind of getting the feeling of that. But I kind of get the sense that too, that this Ten of Pentacles, this person is definitely, looking to, expand somehow because of this, how they are seeing the future here. They're looking to expand or at least go in a different direction. They've completed a cycle, they've gone down a certain road, they've done something already, and it's kind of been something like, it's probably been ongoing, something that span generations from generation to generation. So they're done with that. They're ready to start something new. Because if you look here at the spiritual energy, they have the Eight of Cups. In the Eight of Cups, already you could tell, right? This person is done, emotionally drained. They're not satisfied with this. Okay, they want to be more, they want to find their happiness, they want to be happy, but they're in a situation where they either have commitments, they have things tied to them, like I said, from family or religion or whatever, right? They have certain things that they feel like they're in the process of doing, but it's coming to an end here because they know that their future is not this. It's not what makes them happy. Okay, because the challenge here is the Knight of Swords. So everybody's trying to fight for what they believe in, fight for their truth, fight for what makes them who they are. And I don't know if this Eight of the Ten of Pentacles is. Usually the Ten of Pentacles is a really good card, and I don't see any problems with it. I feel like this is more someone, like, I kind of get the sense that this is someone being tied down to responsibilities that they may not necessarily, dislike, but they're ready to go on a different journey. They're ready to invest time in a different direction, and I think they're trying to assess who could come with them, who can help them grow, and who they may not be able to work well with moving forward. Okay, because they're trying to expand here. Now, with the other person here, they have the Ace of Cups. So this person is seeing this relationship as an opportunity to explore explore feelings, explore emotions, understand the self, the self, spiritual self. Ace of Cups can also talk about, yes, tapping into self-love. This person's looking at what they want mostly too. This is a new heart, a new desire, a new passion. And I feel like with the Ace of Cups, this person sees this as an opportunity to really get to the bottom of who they are and figure out what they want, what is their desires, right? At the same time, I feel like this is also allowing them to be more emotionally open, to understand, what their heart really desires, what their heart really wants in a romantic sense or in a relationship period. But how they see this is definitely allowing them to be more emotionally open, at least to figure out what they need, right, emotionally. Now, this person usually looks like they hold down the fort, though. The Queen of Pentacles is somebody that definitely holds down the fort. This could be you, Virgo. Just because of the earth energy that's coming up here. But this person is very independent, takes care of everybody else. The Queen of Pentacles is really good at taking care of herself, though. She knows how to put herself first, provide stability for herself, which ultimately provides stability for everybody else. But I get this feeling that even though she's been holding down the fort, she's finding a new path. She's finding a new avenue in which makes her happy. Because I think the things have gotten, repetitive, and it was wonderful while it lasted. And I think the person is still committed. They just have to go in a different direction. They're not having fun, to say the very least. This person is very committed in this relationship, it looks like. So is this individual, but there is a need for there to be a totally different approach to it, and everybody's separate because they're trying to figure out for themselves what they want and what they're willing to put in time into. You know what I'm saying? This person's trying to figure out if the people that they're currently with is someone that are the people that can they could go the extra mile with them, while this person is trying to figure out really what makes them happy. Is this lifestyle, is the way that they've been, doing things, is their routine, satisfying, or is it time to change it up? Is it time to do something new? And I feel like this person is really taking the time actually to really take care of themselves, allowing themselves do things that they want to do, really focusing on what they want to invest time into instead of just kind of, being the noble one to take up all the responsibility and not have anything for themselves. I feel like this person is trying to figure out what they want for themselves right now, because I think they have been putting, holding on the fort, like I said, doing the best that they can to keep everybody, stable, grounded, providing for everybody, and they haven't been providing for themselves, which is why I see the Ace of Cups here as the one that is coming from a place of, hey, I need this for me, okay? And the reason why is because of the Page of Pentacles. It could be the reason why this person could be focusing on themselves is because mainly they have other responsibilities that does, require a lot of their attention, and they don't feel like they have individual time for themselves. Like, this could literally look like this person just had a child, or just had or has children, and they don't, they're not mad. They're family oriented. They're not upset by it. They're just like, okay, I understand that I need to take care of a new child. And I think that a lot of the focus has been on taking care of something or putting time and effort into a project, really investing time into something that was outside of themselves. And now they kind of want to retract some of that energy. Because when I see separation, everyone's retracting energy. Everybody's pulling in. Everybody's looking within themselves, right? And I feel like, considering that, with the Page of Pentacles coming up like this is the reason why the person is coming up as the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. This person is looking in a direction where they're wanting to nurture and love themselves, grow on their own. They want to, like I said, take care of themselves. But at the same time, I think they want to have something that they can enjoy, that can definitely, that they could, invest time in and really feel like this is something of their own. But I feel like the reason also is because they also have some sort of responsibility that makes it feel like they aren't necessarily, it's not theirs, right? It's just responsibility over a child, or maybe a project. Maybe even this relationship has become very, very routine and very basic, and they want to figure out how they can either spice that up, what excitement they need to add to this, you know what I mean? Because I think there's two people here that show stability. It's just with the Page of Pentacles, it's like this person is looking a little closely at what is really worth their time and energy based off of how they feel, right? Coming from a place of, okay, I've been doing things in the way that I can, the way that I know is proper, but is this making me happy at the end of the day? That's the biggest question. So what brought you two together here, as we see, is the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is the decision-making card. It's all about making choices and figuring out what you want. But there's a lot of skepticism behind the Seven of Cups because there's no telling which one is going to come true, which one is going to happen. And the Seven of Cups is like one of those cards where you have to just pick one of the cups, because there's no way to tell what the turnout is going to be. You just have to continue to put your heart toward it, your hard work toward it, and do the best that you can with it. Um, I think there was a lot of romance in the beginning of this relationship to you. A lot of romance, a lot of dreams, a lot of fantasy that inspired a lot of ideas for a relationship. And now it's about going and fighting for one of those cups, one of those fantasies, figuring out which desire you want to pursue, and then making that your main goal. Because I think obviously there's no action here. I think everybody's still trying to figure out what they want, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think the only situation now is like, okay, figuring out what it is, and going for it. Okay, because there's nothing actually keeping anybody from doing anything. Communication may be one of those things. Hopefully, it's not a pride thing, but there may be like combative energy, some sort of arguing with the Page of Swords, but I'm not seeing a lot of combative energy. Okay, I'm not seeing any anguish, none of that. I'm seeing more, aggression towards, what they truly want, what they truly believe they deserve, they should have, what each person deserves to have, rather. And that's pretty much what I see from that. Going for what they want, not really having an argument, not really going for people's throats. It's really just kind of being adamant about what you feel you deserve in a relationship. Looking towards what you want. So let's look at the Power of Surrender cards for you guys to see what comes up for you guys. Okay. Surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. Yeah, man. And it looks like both parties. Like, everybody's doing the thing that they're known for, that they're good at, and that they, understand that they need to get done. But that is not who these people are. These are not who these individuals are. This is not who you are, Virgo. You're not the work that you do. You're who you're your emotions, your personality. And I feel like there's been a lot of time put into investing in whatever you guys have been investing into, working, beliefs, whatever. It's not who you are anymore, and I think you know that, which is why the Knight of Swords is like, okay, it's time to be more adamant about who you are. It's time to fight for what you want. It's time to be the person that doesn't take no for an answer regarding your happiness. Because at the end of the day, right, you are going to have to live with your decisions, and those decisions may or may not have to do with someone else, right? It could totally it could totally have to do with just you. And you're allowed to just focus on you. And it's hard, especially when you either been helping people, you've been, keeping up in, not appearances, but keeping up with, orderly stuff, like taking care of the family, whatever. But belief systems that have nothing to do with you, that don't match who you are, does it really deserve your time? Does it really deserve your energy? Does it really deserve any of that? I can't tell you that, because this is up to you to figure out. But this is saying the facts. It's time to surrender outdated beliefs about yourself, fam. If it's not you, it's don't do, pretty much, right?